Hello, Candice.
Hello there.
How are you doing?
Great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Would you say you're great because of what's on your lap?
Yeah, someone bought us giant squishmallows.
And look, I appreciate this very much. I think it's very great. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Do you like squishmallows?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm talking about now?
Yeah, the texture is nice.
I want to know who bought us these squishmallows, and I'm very thankful.
I feel like they nailed our personalities as well.
Why?
I don't know what this is, but just like plain and like potato coloured, which is good. And yours is like, hello. It's great.
Mustard and colour. It does work.
I like it.
I do very much appreciate it.
That's hilarious.
But I did want to buy this for Candice's birthday.
It's fine. I have to get another present now.
No, I have to find something else. They're very fun though, hey?
They are. They're great.
And these are ginormous. Are you going to name yours?
Oh, yeah. Maybe I will.
Musty. What's the question of the day today?
Okay, the question of the day is one we had during the week and it turned into a very... Oh, Becky forgot her button. Do you want to press it? Ready?
Pretty far away.
It's too far.
Question of the day. Becky's pumped.
It was a question during the week, but I didn't get to hear your answer.
Oh.
And I don't think Sarah asked it right anyway, so we're going to do it again. Okay, I'll set the scene. It's a really hot day. It's like today temperature day, but you've been at the beach.
Mm-hmm.
You're driving home from the beach. You decide to pull over to a servo and get an ice cream or an ice block out of those big freezers. Which one do you pick? What do you pick?
Like out of an ice cream in an ice
Or
block?
just like whatever's in normally in
so
those
like
big
what
things.
is the thing?
Yeah.
I wouldn't ever, really.
You have to.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Okay.
But I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But because I have to.
But it's really hot. Like you really want one.
Like I don't.
Play my game.
I was saying that day, like I used to really like ice cream. I just don't think I'm an ice cream. I
Yeah.
just really like donuts and cookies and cake. Just not really ice cream. Anyway,
Even
but
when it's hot, like you'd pick that when it's hot.
like I don't.
No.
I
Yeah,
don't
okay.
really think it's temperature based.
Okay.
But that's okay. I think I would probably choose a Maxi Bon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't really like the icy, like all
Like
I
the fruity
wanted.
ones?
Nah,
Yeah,
like I don't
okay.
really like fruit in a treat.
Mm-hmm.
Because fruit feels like it's not a treat. Fruit feels like normal day-to-day life.
Mm-hmm,
So when you put like fruit in ice cream, like no, you did it wrong.
Yeah, right.
No, that's too healthy.
Yeah, right. See, I like the fruit ones.
Do you?
Oh,
like
yeah.
the icy ones.
Yeah.
I don't
Like
like
a Wheat
them.
bar, like a mango Wheat bar. Oh, the best. So this was the question of the day on Tuesday. And in my afternoon class, my actual answer is a cyclone.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh my God.
Oh,
I'm going
wait.
to show you a picture.
No, that's the red packet. They're like long.
Yep, they're long.
I think Callie's had them before.
I'm going to show you.
But like, yeah, like the icy, they're icy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not into those.
Oh, shit.
I don't like the
Like
icy.
that?
Oh no, that's not what I pictured at all. No, no.
Can you imagine what it looks like to eat that? It's round.
It's like a penis.
Yep.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. But like, I feel like you can't eat them anywhere in public because it's so
Sexual.
sexual.
You're making it that way.
I just think it is that way.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Like they're for children, Candice.
Yep. It's inappropriate.
Inappropriately shaped ice block.
Yeah. Like the only way to eat it is,
And why cyclone? Why is it called a cyclone?
who knows?
What about it is cyclonic? Is that a word?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah. Nice. That works well.
Yeah. Maybe because it's like spirally.
Oh, because it's like the red and green. Is something on the inside?
Yeah. I feel like it's a different flavor on the inside.
No, the icy feels like I'm just eating like frozen cordial
Yeah.
for me.
Not a fan.
I'd rather ice cream, but then like I wanted to try the icy pole today, so I was a bit disappointed they weren't frozen.
That's what happens when you put them in the fridge. Kelsey.
Instead of the freezer. I watched it happen, so it's as much my fault as it is hers. Very
so
funny. But I am excited to try those.
Yeah.
But I feel like I only want an icy pole thing after working out. Like
Yeah.
just on a hot day generally, I'd just be happy with a cold drink.
Yeah, right.
A bit boring. Bit off kid treats.
Fair enough.
I love it.
What's yours, Bex? Oh, sorry. I have to get you.
Put your microphone on.
I liked the mint cornetto, but also cyclone.
Oh.
I said it after, so it wasn't like
Mint
a thing.
cornetto. What's a cornetto? Is that ice cream?
Like a
cone
drumsticky thing?
with ice cream
Oh,
on
yeah.
top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I don't like mint ice cream.
Callie loves it.
Loves it.
Loves it.
I do not like
Yeah.
mint.
I wouldn't pick it.
Again, tastes like too much like health.
Toothpaste.
Like I'm just brushing my teeth. What are we talking about today, ma'am?
We are going to talk about energy systems.
It's very exciting.
Very exciting.
We're going to try and make it really
Make
exciting.
it real fun.
Real fun. So why are we talking about energy systems today? What is it about it that has caught our eye of late?
Well, of late, we have at the gym, we have put on are we allowed to say Hyrox? No. Rocks training for
A program to help prepare
Yes.
people for a Hyrox competition.
and there's some conversations we've had with members about how to get better at that type of training. So for those who don't know, a Hyrox, is it called a race?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hyrox race.
It's a race for everybody. That's the byline, I believe.
Takes fitness racing.
Yeah, fitness racing.
Would you say anywhere from like 55 minutes to an hour and a bit?
They said, I think I've read before, because I've done one. I think they said...
Do you want to talk about it?
Already have, it's fine. Go back a few episodes. I think they said the average race time is 90 minutes.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We were just really fast. So it's
Yeah.
understandable.
Understandable.
that
I'm
you-
shocked by that.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's long. It's really long.
Yeah.
And a couple of conversations we've had around the gym with members about that is how to get fitter for something like that, how to prepare for something like
Yep.
that. And people have the wrong idea about how to train for an event of that nature, I think. Because
Yeah.
it's very different to CrossFit.
And like when it first sort of, I would say it blew up, Hyrox racing blew up in Australia from what I saw last year.
Yes.
That's
That's
when
the
it-
first time I've heard of it.
Yeah. It did come to Australia, I think in 2023, but
Okay.
it did not come to Brisbane.
Okay.
So Brisbane, I did the first one in Brisbane.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about
no,
it?
it's fine.
Okay.
Like we will. Like it'll just happen
Okay.
naturally. I just looked up the average finisher time for last season was 1 hour and 32 minutes.
Yeah. Okay.
So it is very long. So I think it blew up mostly last year around that time. And I've seen so many like arguments just from little people on Instagram, little people with big mouths. And they're like, what's better, Hyrox or CrossFit? And it's like, dude,
Interesting.
they're not the same thing.
different.
They're very different. And you saw me, myself, Belzo, Woodsy and Hannah prepare for it. You saw that we did a few weekly sessions of those longer, slower, which is what we're talking about today. But CrossFit can help you prepare for Hyrox, which is pretty cool. But yeah, definitely blew up last year and it is very different to CrossFit.
Yeah. And I think people who aren't CrossFit trainers, I think that fitness is one of two things. It's either marathon running, like that's the epitome of fitness, or it's like 100-meter sprinting, and there's no kind of like in between or nuance to that. But
what do you think people think mostly fitness is? Like when people outside of the CrossFit land that don't do CrossFit or don't understand CrossFit, when people think that is fit, what do you think it is mostly? If you could like put one thing.
I think it would be like long distance running
I agree.
or triathlon or something that's very cardiovascular endurance, which is a point of fitness, but it's not everything.
Yep.
But yeah, I think people see that and they go, that's fitness.
That person is very fit.
Yeah.
Yep.
But CrossFit defines fitness a little bit differently.
We do.
And I think we'll do a couple of episodes maybe following this on this.
This article is what I loved and understood, like the What is Fitness article. Loved, understood, and was so hyped about when I first learned about CrossFit. And it just made so much sense. So I'm very excited to talk about it a little bit today.
Yeah, cool. Right.
So as CrossFitters...
Do you want to go through the three?
Yeah, you want to start there?
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool.
So we define fitness kind of in three different ways. We measure it in three different ways.
Models, I think, yeah.
Yes, great. One of them being The sickness, wellness, fitness continuum.
Yep. I think that's the fourth model,
Oh,
actually.
my bad.
No,
Got
that's
it the wrong
okay.
way around. We'll start there. And that is if we took a person and took all of their health markers and plotted it on a graph, and that includes things like blood pressure, body fat percentage, all like blood sugar levels, all of those metrics, plus their fitness metrics, so their 5K run, their back squat, all of those things. If we plotted that on a graph, we would have a pretty good idea of where they sit in terms of, are they in sickness, are they in wellness, or are they in fitness? And often when we see one of those markers start to move towards fitness, which is what the aim is, everything else will start to make a shift across. So when someone loses body fat percentage, their 5K run's going to get a little bit better. Their resting blood sugars are going to get a little bit better. And so our aim overall is to move all of those markers over to fitness eventually.
And this is
We've got it on the
if
wall
you're
downstairs.
Yeah. This is if you're doing CrossFit. So, and that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with it, because it wasn't about how you looked. You didn't have to go to a doctor to see if you were healthy. You could just do CrossFit. You could improve your mile time, your 5K run time, plus back squat, plus be able to do a muscle up. If you can do those things, you're likely healthy. And when we look at health, we want to be in that like fit side of it. Most people, I think, would probably be more on the sick side in Australia, like on the sickness end, if we were to look at all the markers. But they talk about like GPs and doctors, they just want everyone to be well, whereas we want to see everyone being fit.
Yeah, it's like bare minimum for life is like wellness, but we want more than that from our athletes. And I think a really good example within the gym is someone like Stell, who it'd be really cool actually to pull all that data and plot that over the years. We did an episode with her a little while ago. She's lost, I don't know how much now, 35 kilos probably. So as that body weight has come down, her, let's say 5K time has definitely improved. She can do pull-ups now. She can do push-ups now. Like all of those markers are now moving towards fitness. Whereas before she definitely would have been sickness.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's really cool.
It's so cool.
And like her lifting is getting better. So even though she's dropped a significant amount of weight, she can lift more than she could before because all of those markers are improving.
Yep. I love it.
Which is the best.
The first model being the 10 general physical skills.
Yes. And so this was the thing that I read in that What is Fitness article, and I was like, yes.
So this is what we're talking about, like people that think people who can run long distance are fit. When you put all of these physical skills up against someone who just is a runner, like a marathon runner, they're not going to hit even half of these physical skills. Yes,
and this is my argument. Josh and I argue about this all the time. About what is fitness, and because he was definitely in that camp of like someone who can do a triathlon is the fittest. I'm like, well, depends what your definition of fitness is. And there is no other definition of fitness that I know of. So CrossFit's 10 general physical skills: cardiovascular endurance, which is that long distance stuff that people would see and be like, that is fitness; stamina, strength, flexibility, power, coordination, agility, balance, and accuracy.
You forgot speed.
Oh shit.
That was only 9. Speed.
1, 2, 3. Oh yes, I did forget speed. And so you are only, by CrossFit's definition, you are only as fit and competent across all 10 of those skills. So we want to be developed across all of those, not just 1 or 2 of those. Yep. And so we could plot every sport there and determine kind of how fit someone is by that model.
And that's, you know, the other thing that I fell in love with about CrossFit is you don't have to be the most powerful. You don't have to be the fastest. You don't have to be the most flexible. You don't have to be each individual thing the best at. You just want to try and get as good as you can and be balanced across all the physical skills. Not just be really like have a great engine. So the cardio endurance, like, because they talked about in this article, someone who runs a marathon, they can't even vertical jump 12 inches. Like they couldn't even jump on a 12-inch box. So how is that fit across your life. Like how are you going to be able to, you know, jump to save your life for whatever reason you would have to do that. But whoop, my house is burning down. I can't jump out. But yeah, so we want to be a balance across all of them.
Yeah, and I think not having any glaring strengths across them, but also no glaring weaknesses as well. So yeah, just a good balance across all of that. We then have the hopper model.
Yes.
Which is if we put every single fitness event, let's say
you can think of
anything in the world, in a big old barrel and like swirled it around and pulled out however many, let's say 5 things, who is going to be the best across the board. So they may not win everything, they may win none of them, but on average they are going to come out the best. That is another definition, another model of fitness.
Because you put the, let's say you're a marathon runner, I'm a power lifter, and Becky does gymnastics.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you're going to win the 5K. I'm going to win the deadlift.
Mm-hmm.
Becky's going to win the
everything
pull-ups.
else.
Yeah, the fucking gymnast. Shit. But you get a CrossFitter in there, they're going to come second in every single one.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be the best overall because we all came last in one thing.
Yeah. So again, not the best at everything, but good at everything, which is what we're aiming for. What have we missed? Oh, the pathways.
The thing we're going to spend the most time talking about
today.
The metabolic pathways, which is today's main focus.
So from that What is Fitness article, and I think we'll do, like I said, a couple of episodes talking about a few different things from it because it's so fucking good. There are
Stay with us, guys.
3 main energy systems. We have the first one, which is the phosphagen system. And it is a system that powers activities that go for less than 10 seconds. So think max effort, less than 10 seconds.
So what are we talking about here? Give us examples.
Think like a snatch or a 100-meter sprint, something like that. That's really, really fast and over really quickly, but it uses absolutely everything you've got in that time. System number two is the glycolytic system. It's for activities that go for no longer than 2 minutes. So think of maybe like a 400-meter run, depending how fast you are, but maybe a 400 to 600 meter run around that time domain. And then third, we have the oxidative, which is anything lasting from a couple of minutes to a couple of hours. So that one is like long, slow efforts, continual efforts. The interesting thing about these energy systems is that they're always running together. So it's never just one and then another. They're all kind of running, and one will be dominant at any one time. And then when it runs out, another one will kick in.
Do you ever feel like, I don't know if it's just in my head, do you ever feel like you can feel it? Like in let's say like a 20-minute AMRAP, and your first 2 minutes you feel everything like burn a little bit more, and then you like settle into a pace.
I definitely.
I'm always like, switch systems.
Go systems.
It's definitely in my head more than it is physically, but whatever works.
And then, so with this model, the fittest person is the one who is most balanced across all 3 systems. So we never want to be dominant at one and then really bad at the other 2, which is where CrossFit comes in handy because we work across all 3 all of the time.
When you started, and even up until the last few years, which one were you dominant in? Yeah, you were. Which one did you suck at?
The last one.
Yeah, you did.
So badly.
Yeah.
And I think I was trying to
genetics
look this up.
have a lot to do with it too, right?
I was trying to look up any studies, but I couldn't find anything I understood. But yeah, if there's a big genetic thing there, or if it's a lot of it is kind of like what you've done growing up and your body has just adapted to that. So growing up, I did like 100-meter sprints and netball, so very short, sharp, like intense efforts. So yeah, I just wonder if that's...
Remember the first time we did sprints at Fisherman's Road, me, you and Hannah?
Yeah.
Fuck, you left us in the dust. I was so mad.
I am speedy, but only one time.
Yeah. I think we had 3-minute rest in between them.
That was good to go by then.
Pretty solid. But yeah, you've had to work pretty hard to get that third one up. And you even just used to hate doing it. Like it was boring for you. It was hard for you to do.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
And then
to
you're kind of
see.
the opposite. You're really good in that last one, that oxidative, that longer, slower, like grindier kind of effort.
Yeah.
But probably the worst, would you say, is the first one?
Very much so. Yeah. Just not a super powerful genetically. I don't think I'm very powerful, but have worked and continue to work on that.
Yeah.
And then same, but not so much growing up. But when I reckon the last one for me is being able to relax in those from teaching group fitness classes where you have to talk.
Of course, I didn't think of that.
Yeah,
Because
I
that's
think
an hour of class.
Yeah.
You do a couple of back-to-backs. Yeah.
So I do like an hour of teaching a class.
That makes sense.
With a microphone while screaming, whilst being, for a lot of years. So I reckon that's what that's from.
That makes a lot of sense.
Which is why I can talk to you. Like, I'm sure you'll be sitting there chilling and I'll be talking to you in a Metcon and you look uncomfortable that I'm talking to you. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's why for me, because I started that when I was 16.
Yeah. I was actually thinking last night, I was like, why is she so good at that? Like, what did she do? That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Good times.
Good times. And then, so those first two systems we talked about, the phosphagen and the glycolytic, they are what we call anaerobic. So they do not require oxygen to power them. And then the last one, that oxidative, it is aerobic. So it requires oxygen. The reason we are telling you that is because anaerobic training, so it's like that interval style training, that's basically what CrossFit is all of the time. So even when a workout is not written as an interval, it is still interval training because you're having to rest, you're forced to rest, or you're transitioning from the pull-up bar outside to the run, or you're Kirsty and you're stopping to put chalk on every 5 seconds. You're creating an interval because you're forced to rest. So a lot of what we do here in the gym is anaerobic training. The reason that I'm bringing that up is because anaerobic training has so many benefits that aerobic training doesn't. So we know that anaerobic training, we can build and preserve muscle, which we want to be jacked, but aerobic training is catabolic for muscle. So it eats it away. And we can see that by looking at people who do sprinting versus marathon running. Like, look at the different body types there. Anaerobic is also really cool because it has the ability to make our aerobic system better, but the inverse isn't true. So aerobic training doesn't help your anaerobic as much as anaerobic helps your aerobic. And I think a cool example of that is, like, you've done a couple of really long runs in your time and some of them you haven't trained for. I remember the first one, was it that 30K one?
It was supposed to be a great walk and I was
right,
like,
she's fucking
run
it. I'm better at the finish line. And you didn't do any training for that. But I think because you have such a solid base of CrossFit training over the years, obviously some of that converts into that aerobic system.
And that's the thing, like the thing that even on the last, the half marathon trail run, it's my body. So I always feel like my lungs are okay in those longer things. It's because I haven't put in the time on my legs. That's the only thing that I feel towards the end, which is really interesting. It's like my legs get tired, my feet are sore because I haven't put in the time.
Like that stamina through those things. That's cool. And then another comparison, anaerobic exercise is not sustainable. So you can't keep working in those brackets for long periods of time. You're going to be forced to rest eventually because of like the buildup of waste products in your system. Whereas aerobic exercise, it just sits below that threshold. So you can do it for really long periods of time.
Yep.
That's my rant about that. For most people, yeah.
And it would be like, for you, it was uncomfortable because that's not your like genetic and your history. But for most people, they would feel a lot more comfortable in the aerobic versus the anaerobic. Like it hurts. It's you like your lungs feel like they're burning a bit more. You're like just above where is comfortable. Whereas a lot of people in aerobic, they feel like they can sustain that effort for a long period,
really long time. And so we're talking about this because of the Hyrox. No, I can't say it.
Hyrox race we're training for.
Yes. Yeah. Thing that we're training for. How do people then get fit for something like that? Because it's, like you said before, the average, I didn't realize it was 90 minutes.
90 minutes.
The average race time is 90 minutes.
It's crazy.
Wild.
And that's the thing. I think people underestimate for that type of like you can't go hard for a long time. You just said that. But there are like if you do it in a pair, which is the way we did it, there are, like, you'll run at a steady pace that is just under where is uncomfortable. And then on the stations, you'll like take it in turns. So that would be a little bit more anaerobic because you're pushing.
Yes. You're creating that interval training. Yeah.
And then back out on the run. But overall, you are working for a really long time.
And so that then for most people is not going to be done at a really high heart rate at the start anyway. And training for something like that isn't done at a high heart rate because we're looking for you to build endurance, which needs to be sustainable, and you cannot sustain a long period of time with a high heart rate unless you are trained in that already, which most of us are not.
And like professional, if we look at professional marathon runners, let's just think about the fastest people in the world that are running 42 kilometers at an under 4-minute pace. Like, it's all relative to the individual and what they are capable of doing. But that for them is not a high heart rate zone. They are absolute trained freaks of nature, but their heart rates they'd be lucky to hit a 160, 170 heart rate at all in an entire marathon, and maybe right at the end. But this is where people go wrong with long distance running and training for something like this. They treat it like a CrossFit workout, and it's not a CrossFit workout. They can't push into that really high effort that is unsustainable for more than 2 minutes or whatever it is. And then they think that they're just really shit, but they're working outside of that range.
Like what your body can handle. Yeah. And I wonder whether people see other people who are good at these things do it and they're like, holy shit, she's going so fast. I have to go fast. But you have to remember that person has trained. So their body over time has adapted to allow them to move that quickly. And if you looked at their heart rate, it's probably zone 3.
I think people need to look at it more like the same as like scaling for weightlifting. Like what someone can do in a CrossFit Metcon with, let's say, cleans, and they can cycle 50 kilo cleans. Just because you can do a 1RM at 50 wouldn't mean that you load 50 on the bar for 20 reps.
Yes.
Like, you're going to, be somewhere between 25 and 30 or whatever it is, to be able to hold on and maintain and cycle that weight. It's the same with this long distance stuff. You've got to work in your current range, not in
somebody else's. Yeah, because remember, to get better at it, you have to go long and slow. If you're stopping and resting, you're not building that endurance base that we're trying to get you to build. You're just going to keep working in that first or that second zone, which you're already doing in CrossFit all the time. You don't need to do any more work there. We're looking for that longer, slower effort. What open workout was it? It was like the deadlift and burpee over bar. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 back down to 1. You like
that one?
They put a heart rate monitor on Rich Froning for that workout. His max heart rate was 165, I think.
Motherfucker.
And he was one of the fastest in the world at that workout. So
I think mine was 180 in the first
from
minute.
The first round. That just goes to show, like, fit people, like people who have been doing the thing for a really long time, their body just knows how to adapt. It just figures out how to be efficient at those levels. But the rest of us were busting our ass, and he was just cruising through. He couldn't go any physically faster. That's as high as his heart rate got. Just crazy.
And we talk about this inside of CrossFit too, even though it is less of that aerobic building stuff in the class environment. And the reason we do that is because you get, like you explained, all the benefits of anaerobic training. You get more bang for your buck inside the class time doing this style of workout. Every now and then we'll have like that really long, like the Murph, all of the ones that'll take 40 minutes plus, and that's obviously working more of that aerobic system. But you get most bang for your buck towards health if you're hitting CrossFit. The training that's required for Hyrox is one aspect of that overall fitness. And I hope that people understand that when they are doing this style of training, that it's not one or the other. It's all going to help each other. And if you can learn to pace yourself a little bit better whilst doing that kind of training, you will be able to apply that better to your CrossFit training, which is good. But yeah, you'll hear us often say that, like, go at 70% and see if you can hold on to that throughout your 25 minutes of this Metcon or whatever.
And I think
it is.
people, like, they maybe look sideways and go, well, she's going really fast, so I have to go fast. But that might be her 70%. Your 70% just looks very different. So learning what that threshold is for you and being able to work there is going to make you way fitter than just slogging yourself and then having to stop and rest for 3 minutes before you can do anything else.
Yeah. And we all I know I still often make mistakes in Metcons, like even this morning, that was terrible, by the way, workout. It was rough. What was it? 2 wall walks, 25-foot overhead walk-in lunge, 5 burpee pull-ups. I ended up mid-workout scaling to 3, and then 25-foot overhead walk-in lunge, 10 rounds. I went out too hot. Not because I don't know better, but because I had that 2-minute window and I tried to hold on to that. And then by the second or third round, I was like, there is no chance.
Yeah.
And then because I redlined too early, I paid for it at the end.
Yeah, and sometimes you can't come back from that. No. Like if you hit it too early and you're not trained in that zone, like you don't recover very fast and you feel very bad.
And like I'm 13 years in, you're going to make mistakes and it's okay.
Yeah.
But like trying to hold back at the start of a CrossFit workout is going to give you more benefits later on. I think about Han coming back from New Zealand. Do you remember she scaled everything, like overscaled?
I have no memory of that.
Before she left, she's always been, generally fit, skilled, strong, whatever. When she got back from New Zealand, we scaled her down, like she scaled herself down more than she should have. But she got so fit doing it because she could hit the stimulus better than she was ever able to with the RX loadings.
Yeah.
And I think more people would benefit from that in certain workouts as well, like pulling themselves back to be able to go faster.
Yeah. And like you said before, I've always struggled. I'm very good, like short, sharp efforts, like weightlifting. But anything over that, like 10 to 15 minutes is my death. Like I hate it. Yeah. Once a week I do a session, which my coach programs is called No Bottleneck CrossFit. And it's literally easy movements, but my job is to find a pace that I don't have to stop. So what did I do this week? It's like 10 weighted step ups, 10 burpees over a line, 10 dumbbell snatches. And I have gotten so fit from doing that. It's so simple, but it's like, yeah, I've learned so much from having to do those sessions. And I think people would benefit so much from just pulling back the weight, pulling back the movement if they need to, and just focus on moving more consistently.
Yeah. And it's the same as people that like, I hate burpees. I struggle with burpees so much. Go slower.
Yeah.
Do the burpees slower.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to do more of them in a row if you just slow it down. Not everything is a absolute sprint and a race. Exactly.
So yeah, for those people doing that ROX training, we have talked about you guys working at that 70%, and hopefully that helps to explain why it's important. Thrashing yourself in those sessions is not going to help.
No.
Because you're already doing that in here. We need you to be working in that long, slow zone now and getting really, really good at continual movement there.
Yeah. Love it. I think that's it.
Is that it? Let me
think
check my little notes.
It's just better to say anything else on that.
Yes.
But yeah, I think the most important part is, like I said, it's the endurance side of things is just one aspect of CrossFit. And like you said, if you train CrossFit well enough for long enough, you can enter these things with essentially no training. You won't be the best at it, but you can do it. And that's the whole point of why we do CrossFit is you can do hard things.
Yeah, just make you better at life.
Yep, that's it.
That's it. Oh yeah, I just had one other little note. We just ramble on a bit more.
Yeah.
I was going through our week of programming last night to like help explain this a little bit better. And so in the 100 Words of Fitness, CrossFit talks about broad time and modal domain. So every day our workout is a little different from the day before and maybe even the week before. This week we've had a less than 10-minute workout, a 16-minute workout, a single heavy lift, and today was a 22-minute workout, and tomorrow is a 20-minute partner workout. So hopefully from that you can see all of those different systems getting used in different ways through that week. And doing that and listening to the stimulus and being able to apply that to your workout is going to make you better. So getting that anaerobic base is going to help you for that aerobic base.
Love it. And that's, I think a lot of people go wrong with always wanting to do more. They think more is better as well. I think they think that they have to add on just all of the stuff afterwards. But if your main goal is health and fitness, just hitting the main work of the day, the main workout of the day is going to give you what you need to get there. Yeah. If you, like you said, hit it with what we ask via stimulus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like you said, you're going to make mistakes and stuff that up time to time, but
often.
As long as you can learn. Why does my credit card keep coming up on my phone? As long as you're
write those numbers down.
As long as you're learning from that and being like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
When she says, how many burpees can I do in a minute? I can't do 22. I need to pull that number back so I can sustain it. Like just try to learn from those things that you mess up.
Love it.
Every now and then.
That's perfect. Bright spot.
Oh shit, I always forget about this. Oh yeah, mine's easy. On Wednesday I took Callie for a horse riding lesson. Yeah. It was very cool.
That's definitely her fucking bright spot too.
It was very cute. So I keep my horse out at like an adjustment property in Yandina, and the lady who's there owns another horse, and she has coached before. So I've been like, when you're free, let me know and I'll bring Callie out for a lesson. And so I bought Callie a helmet and she put it on the car and wore it the whole time.
And she wore it the whole time at fucking home that night too.
I was like, you can take that off. She's like, okay. I just kept it on. It's very cute.
She's like, I'm a horse girl. I'm a horse girl.
It was very cute.
And then we had to watch horses that whole night on YouTube, different horses and what they do for jobs. But
amazing.
Draft horses are
huge.
Fucking huge. I really want to see one.
In real life.
Yeah. They're very big.
I've never seen one.
They're muscular. Large dogs. And overseas, they like drag trees out of they're very helpful guys as well.
This little workhorse.
And I was like, I wonder if they like doing it. I wonder if they're like, yeah, I did that. Or if they're like, oh, fuck, Larry, I don't want to do it today. I don't want to drag this tree out of the ground.
I guess we'll never know.
No. Unless we can, read horses' thoughts. Although I don't think they'd be thinking like that. My bright spot is going for a run on Wednesday with Jordo. It was so hot, and I really like after doing something very hard. I just like that feeling of doing it after. It was like 39 degrees, I think, and we ran at 1 p.m.
Crazy,
stupid, and just that time together. We don't get much child-free time, so being able to. I told my class that after. It was very funny. Someone asked about, like, did you go for a run today? I was like, yep. And then, someone was like, why do you run? I was like, it's the only time we get together. And they were like, everyone's like, I was like, no. Like, they're like, oh, a run? Is that what we call it? I was like,
parklands and running.
It's like, gee, and then he went on for like 5 minutes. Like, let me know when you guys are done so we can talk about the workout. That'll be really good. It was very funny. But that's mine.
Awesome. Yeah, it has been hot this week. But I'm the same. Saucy. I love the feeling of, like,
just doing stuff.
You train and then you're like, fuck, I'm so tough.
Yeah. Just doing stuff that's not easy for, like, that most people wouldn't do, I think, is like, it's just nice.
Yeah.
Just a nice feeling to do hard things.
Yeah. And like, it's just a bit of heat.
Yeah. And also it's not that hard. Like, if you think about it, that's what most days would feel like up north or in a different country. Like, I don't know, the desert somewhere.
Yeah.
Dubai, maybe. I don't know. But somewhere would feel like that all the time. So, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good practice.
Excellent.
That's all. Anything else? What else is going on?
We have some open announcements coming up soon. Yeah. Don't know when.
We'll talk about it after the podcast.
We'll let you know.
Yeah. It's pretty exciting.
It is very exciting.
Drum roll.
But we don't actually know, so
tell you when. Sometime
soon.
No, we're pretty we're very excited. Gotten some feedback, know what people want, know what people need, know what we want, and I think we've put together something pretty cool.
I think so too. But I think that's
all. That's just a secret that we're holding and won't really affect most of the world, just our members.
Just us.
Unless you want to tell your gym owners about it, maybe they want to do it. I don't know. Cool. I think that's it. Is that all?
I think that's it.
Sick.
Wait, I've held this squishmallow so my hands are sore.
Do you love it?
Because I was like this and then like this.
You love the feeling.
Yeah.
It's so soft.
So good.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye.